Welcome to Mystic Moons. This is a continuation of the Aquarius reading that I was doing earlier. Internet was not really going that well. So one moment. And since it wasn't going through before, might as well see about now. Let's see what we have. So Aquarius, I already did part 1 of this reading earlier today, and I invite you to go and check it out. The first one has a general reading on what is all in your energy for love. And there's also a part of the zodiac breakdown that was started. Like, where do I put this? I'll put it in there. The signs that were started to be read were Pisces and Scorpio. So if you're curious about the overall greater love reading, do check that out, Aquarius. If you know anybody with Pisces, strong, significant Pisces or Scorpio placements, or you want to see just your general affinity to those two collectives, check it out. Here, what we're going to do is continue with fire, earth, air, and the remaining water sign, Cancer. I'm not going to bother to read Scorpio and Pisces again, as I believe that the ones I did just a few hours earlier, their energy is sufficient for now. The link, if I didn't mention that, is in the description. Thank you for the like. Yes, if you appreciate my time, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up. And also, Aquarius, I invite you, if you are curious, and as these are love readings, you can also pay attention. I recommend you pay attention to also your Venus sign. And with this reading just about being concluded, or this batch of love readings just about being concluded, the other signs are up there. So if you have an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, but your Venus is in another sign, you could check it out, Aquarius. As I said, all the other signs are done. Also, if you want to cross watch, you can. For these readings as their love, I see that as, well, sun, moon, and rising is pretty much the standard, typical energies for collective readings. But I'd also include Aquarius, and this is where you think about your own natal chart and the energies at play that you feel. But I encourage you to think about definitely your Venus, definitely, and then the other sign. So that would be Venus, Jupiter, 7th house, and Juno. Okay, so those are the collectives with this love reading. Well, we'll just hop right into it. Thank you for the like. So, since we already did, I'm just going to pull and we'll see, where do we start off with? Let's start off with air, Aquarius. If you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, Now for these love readings, Aquarius, I'm focusing on the energy that comes out pink. A beautiful, soft pink, Aquarius. Not quite as pink as my gray and white cat's nose. Not that color pink. Pink that has more warmth to it. The color of emotion, Aquarius, that inspires understanding, compassion, empathy. You know, with love, many different types of love, and also too, if we were going to get into color, the auric colors, many other colors can be layered upon love, right? There can be bright red, orangey red, there can be purples, there can be blues, there can even be greens, there could be whites, there can be goldens. But for this, we're focusing upon, hello, Gabrielle. For this, we're going to focus on the starting energy of pink, where we have love, compassion, understanding. Also, too, wanting to see you at your best, wanting to be at your best for another. Okay, so that's the energy that we're starting out with. And as we're starting out with such a general platform of love, you can use this for not just romantic interest, but also to platonic friendship as well, platonic love, romantic love, love that you have yet to meet. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gabrielle. Love that you have yet to meet. It could be love that you're already dealing with. You may or may not be in communication with them. You may be in communication with them quite a bit, or dealing with them quite a bit. Also someone who you have yet to meet. Okay, so it's that whole span that we're leaving it open for. And if there's any more detailed messages that come through, I will share. So let's go and kickstart Aquarius. We're going to start off with air. So this is going to be first, and we got Seven of Swords. Let's see Aquarius for Aquarius. So Aquarius, are you dealing with an Aquarius? Have you met an Aquarius? If you meet an Aquarius, another fellow Aquarius in love for you. I have Six of Swords, Aquarius. Six of Swords, Nine of Wands, and the World. Aquarius, if you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, it's taken you and that Aquarius a lot of effort to get where you are today, mutually. If you're dealing, or if you meet with a fellow Aquarius, just exactly the type of connection that's needed. Aquarius with Nine of Wands and Six of Swords. Let me say, if you meet an Aquarius in this energy, I feel like you two could go and click things off quite easily, quite naturally. However, I also feel with Nine of Wands and Six of Swords, the energy here, Aquarius, is that both of you have been not quite battle scarred or shell shocked. Both of you have been adhering to your own sense of self, not compromising, insisting upon things being done a certain way. Otherwise, then you don't need it. Both of you have been in this very independent, must have, won't compromise energy. And then we have the thaw of spring. Aquarius, I feel like if you meet a fellow Aquarius, that is a breath of fresh air. Oh, thank you for the like. A welcomed oasis to breathe. Looking like being in Plato's cave, Aquarius. And finally, after hearing about sunlight for so long, Aquarius, you get to see sunlight with this person. Aquarius, if you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius in this energy, this is a little bit more complicated. If you meet, or excuse me, if you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, I feel like it's a relationship or connection that keeps on dragging on with a promise of something great. Aquarius, if you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, you need to have patience for the end goal. And I feel like, too, enjoying both, being very present in your relationship, in your connection, with the understanding that each present moment further builds out how this connection grows and continues. You know, it's very much like a 1-step, 2-step, 3-step, 1 stone, 3 stone, 4 stone for you to walk upon type of energy. There's also patience here being called. I wonder if there's a bit too much patience. Maybe the pace, Aquarius, if you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, is what feels comfortable and safe. But it's also too like the desire not to rush anything. If you're dealing with a fellow Aquarius, that person wants to enjoy the successes of now and slowly build out the promise of the future. So let's go and check out our next air sign. That would be, who should that be? Let's do Libra, Aquarius. A Libra for Aquarius. Let's see. Let us see. I'm not quite sure what that is. I guess that's just a spammer. Okay, whatever that was. I have seen some live streams that you would think that there would be some automatic ban thing on it accidentally. I'm not going to say what I've seen or who I've seen on other psychic live streams. I saw it last summer. And I said, wow, I can't believe it. Can't believe they'd do that. Anyway, Aquarius, let's go on to our next sign. That would be Libra. A Libra for Aquarius. I have 3 of Pentacles, Aquarius. I have that 6 of Swords again, Aquarius, Aquarian energy, and I have the Devil. Aquarius, if you're dealing with a Libra, well, I said that if you were dealing with an Aquarius or if you meet an Aquarius, both of you, well, if you're meeting an Aquarius, both of you would be like a breath air to another. And I feel like Aquarius in this energy, if you meet a Libra, if you're dealing with a Libra, Libra is very protective of their own air quality. Libra is very protective over their own autonomy of space, also to their own presence. Libra has some very strong ideas about how they want to present themselves in the world. Also to Aquarius with what Libra wants to do. And they must do it, Aquarius. I feel, first of all, if you're interested in a Libra, or if you meet a Libra, you have to compliment that Libra's life path, Aquarius. Because in this energy too, it's like Libra has spent so much time developing their sense of self, developing their sense of purpose, Aquarius, to get to the person who you see today, to be the person who you see today. And Libra can't go back. Libra also too doesn't want to experience anything or feel like they are going back, feel like they are sacrificing, or it feels like even meeting halfway. Something about where Libra has been right now. Libra has kind of clawed, worked really hard to get where they are right now, to be who they are right now, to present who they are right now, and go forward. And anything that could be seen, Aquarius, as taking a step back or even remaining in place would not be ideal to Libra. This is just Libra's general energy, Aquarius. Libra is very much into their sense of self, their sense of purpose, their sense of presentation, who they are as an individual, and what they have been working on, and support for this. Also, too, let me say in this energy, Aquarius, if you're dealing with a Libra, something about that Libra is very self-made. Libra has been working hard, Aquarius. Maybe that's evident. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something they're not particularly inclined to go and share. But yeah, Libra's put in a lot of investment into getting to the point they are today. Whether they do or don't advertise it. So ultimately, I'm going to say if you're dealing with a Libra, their energy is a bit standoffish. Libra wants to make sure they're not influenced. I think even slightly influenced or corralled. Libra in this energy, Aquarius, could be doing things very independently. Maybe that could go along well with you, Aquarius. Maybe the lack of communication or finding out about things afterwards, finding out about their plans afterwards, could disappoint you a little bit, especially if you see yourself as a unit with Libra. But Libra's energy, ultimately, Aquarius, very independent. I'd also say in this energy, Aquarius, if anyone was going to lead, it's going to be Libra. Hello. So let's go and see our next sign. And that would be Gemini. Gemini for Aquarius. Let us go and see Aquarius. With these signs, definitely you could think about not only their sun sign, but I would say their moon, their rising, and their Venus. Some people put weight onto the Jupiter sign as much as Venus. I leave it up to you, Aquarius. I have the energies here. Do with it as you please. So Aquarius, if you are dealing with a Gemini, if you meet a Gemini, Aquarius, that Gemini and you. Three of Swords. I would almost say with a Ace of Pentacles, bottom of the deck energy, Aquarius. Gemini is no nonsense. Gemini means business. Also, too, in this energy, what Gemini says, Gemini pretty much means. Let's find out more. If you are dealing with a Gemini, Aquarius, if you meet a Gemini, Gemini has very little tolerance for nonsense. Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and a Three of Swords. Gemini too should be very transparent, should be very clear and open about what Gemini wants, what Gemini expects, what Gemini would and would not entertain in a connection. Aquarius, what I have here is a Gemini with that means business. Of course, the Lovers is Gemini energy with a Ten of Cups, so, and a Seven of Pentacles. Gemini has very specific conditions that they want. Gemini is in committed energy. Also, too, again, as I said, Aquarius, Gemini is not taking any nonsense. I would say, too, if you're interested in a Gemini, appreciation is really important to Gemini. In this energy, too, it's like Gemini has always given themselves 100%, 200% Aquarius to love, to themselves, open in care, nurturing, and understanding. And, as Gemini has extended themselves, extended their heart, extended their time, extended their care towards others, Aquarius, Gemini can seek out authenticity as well as falsehoods. Gemini is very astute in this energy, Aquarius. That's what I have with Gemini. Again, if you are interested in a Gemini, if you're dealing with a Gemini, I would say transparency. Also, too, how do you show appreciation? Definitely show appreciation. Words, gifts, time spent, quality time spent, Aquarius. How do you feel about Gemini? Have you been making that known, Aquarius? How do you wish to support Gemini, Aquarius? I feel like Gemini needs to hear those things, see those things in this energy, Aquarius. So let's go and see the next collective. We have fire and we have earth. Shall I do Cancer? I have one water sign. Aquarius, if you're interested in the other two water signs, go and check out the link in the description. There you'll find Pisces and Scorpio. Cancer is the one remaining water sign that I did not do, so I guess I'll do it here. Aquarius, if you meet a Cancer, if you're dealing with a Cancer, if a Cancer is on your mind, let's see, Aquarius, that Cancer towards you. Cancer for Aquarius, Page of Cups, Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy, Three of Wands. Wondering how close to come, how serious to take things, how much can they trust at face value, how much should they expect in the future, or what could be the future, what could the future hold? Seven of Swords is also Aquarius energy, as is the Star. If I didn't say that already, Aquarius. Yeah, with Cancer's energy, Cancer is on guard. Cancer has hackles up. It's like Cancer is not naive anymore, Aquarius. Just because something looks good, just because something sounds good, just because things progress well, doesn't necessarily mean they will end well. You know, Aquarius, in this energy, Cancer's energy is open to you, but Cancer has been burned quite severely. And in this energy, it's like Cancer is there, curious to explore possibilities that perhaps could be only for the now and wouldn't hold any weight for the future. And I think that makes Cancer a bit sad. In this energy, I could see Cancer dealing with you, Aquarius, but they're dealing with you in the energy of not really expecting things to work out. There's hope that things would continue and build out into something larger, but Cancer's accepting things at face value. Small gestures, small moments. Giving it the opportunity to grow out into more, but ultimately them themselves believing it won't. That is Cancer's energy. Aquarius, if you are dealing with, let's do earth and then we'll do fire. Aquarius, if you're dealing with a Capricorn, if a Capricorn is on your mind, Aquarius, if you meet a Capricorn, if you're dealing with a Capricorn, those are two cards, Aquarius. Magician. Capricorn is busy. Knight of Cups. King of Swords. Capricorn is busy, Aquarius. Capricorn not waiting around, Aquarius. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, Aquarius, this is rather immediate energy in the background. Sun, Ten of Pentacles, Tower, Hierophant. This is like wanting very specific things, and if they don't get it, well, they're making their value judgment. Capricorn is in really fast movement. You know, it's like with Capricorn, you have a certain amount of time, Aquarius, to present or to do right. Whatever right may be to Capricorn. I would say with King of Swords and Magician here, Capricorn is very expectant. Would Capricorn necessarily share their expectations? They could. Capricorn could be very upfront with what they want. They could also expect you to know intuitively what they want, what to do, based on whatever this is. How obvious this is. Is this just like actions? Is this being like crystal clear to the letter of what you want? I think that depends on it. Hello. But yeah, Capricorn's energy is pretty intense. Also, too, really expectant, Aquarius. It's like you meet Capricorn if you're going to meet a Capricorn, and Capricorn's going to expect things like in that next 10 minutes of interaction. And then if that continues, and Capricorn's going to expect very specific things for you in the next 2 weeks of interaction. You know, Capricorn is just a taskmaster in this energy, Aquarius. And I think it's because Aquarius with Capricorn's giving you the space and the time to deliver, to perform. And if you don't match what Capricorn wants, Capricorn is going to keep it moving, Aquarius. Capricorn is in movement, Aquarius. Let's see. Thank you for the like. Let's see our next earth sign. Taurus, Aquarius. A Taurus for Aquarius. Six of Cups, Aquarius. New starts possibly for that Taurus, Aquarius. What was important to that what was important to that Taurus before, Aquarius, doesn't really hold that much weight now. However, it doesn't hold weight for Taurus now, Aquarius, but it's influencing how Taurus is moving right now. Wheel of Fortune, Chariot. Well, first of all, regardless if you're dealing with a Taurus or if you meet a Taurus, Aquarius, that Taurus is moving away from their past. That Taurus has deemed something of what they dealt with in the past as not serving them and what they wanted, where they wanted to go. Everything, I would say, probably with that Taurus. Either Taurus is in the process of shedding a lot of what they've experienced, a lot of the lessons and what they held dear, Aquarius, or they already have. Because with what Taurus previously valued and how Taurus previously moved, they weren't getting the appropriate emotional stability, satisfaction, nurturing feedback that Taurus needed to feel beauty in life. So let me say, first of all, too, in this energy, Aquarius, if you meet, regardless if you meet or are dealing with a Taurus, Taurus is actively seeking beauty of life, growth of life. In this energy, too, it could not just be previous connections that Taurus has dissolved, but it could also be the very norms of relationships that Taurus learned in their early childhood and the patterns in which they saw love being given and received in their household. Whatever notions that what love was good, what love was bad, Taurus could be or could have already really done a significant overhaul of that and finding their own path in love. And I really do feel here it's all about the beauty, the care, the appreciation. If you're dealing with a Taurus or if you're interested in a Taurus, Aquarius, really what Taurus wants is warmth, time, companionship. And not just the companionship per se of being side to side, but the companionship of living life together. Someone by your side who is your friend first and foremost, and who is interested in sharing also the quiet moments together. That's what I have for Taurus, for you, Aquarius. Let us go and see our next earth sign. That would be Virgo. Aquarius, if you meet a Virgo. If you're dealing with a Virgo, let's see. That Virgo towards you. Virgo for Aquarius, Queen of Cups, very warm energy here. Virgo is ready to roll out red carpets. Maybe Virgo is willing to seek those carpets. Okay, so first of all, Aquarius, if you meet a Virgo, if you're dealing with a Virgo, Virgo is very imaginative, very emotional. Virgo has very precise dreams, Aquarius. Very precise ideas, Aquarius. Virgo wants a big change, Aquarius. Virgo is going to go the distance, whatever distance they have to, Aquarius, to ensure they get those dreams achieved, Aquarius. Virgo has spent enough time going after those dreams, Aquarius. Has spent enough time waiting for those dreams, Aquarius. And now, whatever Virgo was doing before, Virgo is doing more. For companionship, the type of love, the type of life Virgo wants to live. Aquarius, if you're dealing with an Aquarius, if you're dealing with a Virgo. Also, too, let me say, Virgo is highly emotional. We had a Ten of Cups, rather. 8 of Cups, and the moon is all very Piscean, very emotional, very much into their dreams. The dreams that they've wanted and waited for, they want it now, Aquarius. Are you going to give it to them now, Aquarius? Is their dreams the same as your dreams? If it is, beautiful, you're the one that Virgo wanted. If it's not, Virgo is out. Because Virgo's energy right now, nothing's off the table for Virgo. And that means Virgo going to where they need to go. Even being open to what they wouldn't necessarily before have been open to. Virgo has just taken the 4 walls of their emotional house, Aquarius, and gotten rid of it. Maybe the roof too. Virgo is one individual now out in a broad, open expanse. And looking at everything. That's Virgo's energy, if you're interested in a Virgo. Virgo seeks emotional fulfillment. Virgo seeks their dreams being fulfilled. Virgo is going to get it too, Aquarius. Thank you for the likes. So let's go on to, is that our final sign? We did air, we did our remaining water, we did all the earth, now we just have fire. Well, we're on fire. Not quite the same connotation, right, as saying we're on earth. Well, maybe. We are on earth. On air, on water, but on fire. So, Aquarius, shall we find out you and Leo? A Leo for Aquarius. If you meet a Leo, if you're dealing with a Leo, I have 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Some time is implied here, Aquarius. Also a little possessiveness. Time is implied here also too, wanting more. your own world, Aquarius. If you're dealing with a Leo, or if you meet a Leo, actually, Aquarius, I see Leo being very, very tight-knit with you, Aquarius. Maybe Aquarius even a little possessive. Would they express it? I don't know if they'd express it, Aquarius. If you couldn't tell by their eyes and their body language, I don't think they'd put words to it. I think their possessiveness would come through their body language. You know, it's like in this energy, Aquarius, Leo doesn't want to be alone. Leo is very protective of their close bonds. Leo wants their close bonds to grow more. Leo wants to create legacy with you. Leo wants to create new ways of bonding with you. In this energy, I do see Leo wanting, or if you're interested in a Leo, finding collectively new ways to entwine each other. Like, for instance, you both take a class together, you both go visiting to some place you didn't go before, you both could even do your own business together. There's energy, you go running together. I see like lots of, if you did 2-on-2 activities with Leo, strengthening the touch points that you have with Leo, I see that making Leo very, very happy. You know, this is kind of like, you know, Leo's dream language, Aquarius. It's like both of you have a language that only you two can speak and understand. Both of you create a world, Aquarius, in which only you and Leo exist. Leo would like that lots. Aquarius, only see Leo, only deal with Leo if you are the tree, Aquarius, Leo would be the fruit, and vice versa. If you would be the tree, Aquarius, Leo would be the sun, and vice versa. Very entwined energy like that. Very possessive energy, Aquarius. Anyway, let's go on to the next fire sign. And that would be, thank you for the like. Shall we do Sagittarius? And Sagittarius for Aquarius. What do I have for Sagittarius regarding Aquarius? I have Emperor. Okay, so first of all, of course, Five of Swords is Aquarian energy. First of all, if you're dealing with a Sagittarius, Aquarius, Sagittarius isn't necessarily allowing their past bonds to influence them. Not to say that they don't, but Sagittarius has been consciously moving away from the past. One could say in this energy, Sagittarius wants to live, Sagittarius wants to live in the present. Sagittarius wants to be their own person. And Sagittarius really doesn't want past connections, past circumstances, past things to influence where their future goes. Could be people, could be places, could be previously held values, could be all of those, Aquarius. That's the energy that Sagittarius is in right now. Something to think about too, Aquarius, if you've been dealing with a Sagittarius for a period of time. Sagittarius now is really trying to delineate the direction they go to now. And just because they have previous touch points that are still present, just because it has history with them, doesn't mean they're going to go and give it extra weight. Because of that history, they're going to try and judge things on their own value system of, is this where I want to be? Is this who I want to be with? Is this really what I want to give the space of value to in my life? Does this make my life worthy? Is this worthy of the attention that makes up my life? That type of energy. Welcome, welcome, TE. So let's go and see more about this Emperor. I have Five of Swords again, which is Aquarian energy. I have Justice. I have Emperor. Well, I will say Aquarius, Sagittarius's energy is really strong. Coming out really, 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 really strong. I feel like in the energy that I have pulled here, Sagittarius feels like they've given a whole lot of gravitas, to use that word, to historical things, old friendships, people who have known them over a period of time. And I feel like Sagittarius has slowly been moving away from that energy, as Sagittarius has been seeing as they have been given this grace, this gravitas towards others. Where has it gotten Sagittarius overall? Sagittarius has a very particular Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, has a very particular way in which Sagittarius likes to go and build out their environment, their ambiance. And in order for them to really realize the type of life that Sagittarius wants, Sagittarius is really drawing some clear lines in the sand, Aquarius. I feel like in this energy, Sagittarius is really into almost reclaiming space. If I was going to use another analogy, Aquarius, this is like a Sagittarius had a whole big forest. And anyone could come into their forest as long as they appreciated the beauty of that forest. And for whatever reason, now Sagittarius is saying only some may enter this forest, if any at all. Prove why you should have access to Sagittarius's domain. In this energy, Aquarius, it really depends upon you and that Sagittarius. Sagittarius is really ready to build, and Sagittarius's energy here is really large and wanting to make some big changes. Aquarius, if your energy matches Sagittarius's, both of you could partner together. I will say though, with all this energy, leadership energy. Now, you can have two leaders in the room, Aquarius, but it's like they have to be of equal weight. Someone cannot be an A leader and someone cannot be a B leader in this energy. With Sagittarius, Aquarius, if you are an A leader, and let's say in Sagittarius's energy, in whatever sort of aspect, would be a B leader. And this could also be too where Sagittarius is professionally, or how their career is going, how their life is going, what kind of accomplishments has Aquarius, what kind of accomplishments has Sagittarius accumulated so far? Things like that could also be the definitions of A energy and a B energy, just like to maybe attractiveness or charisma. Who gets the most attention from others? That could also be an A level and a B level. So Aquarius, you can think about this with Sagittarius, but I feel like ultimately you have to be at an equal level with Sagittarius. If one person is more developed either in important or pertinent ways, again, we have leadership here, so ways that would be connected to accomplishment, visibility, somewhere around there, those types of energies. I don't really see that working out unless you guys are evenly balanced. Does it matter who's A level, who's B level? Both of you need to be A level, both of you need to be B level, both of you can partner, but Sagittarius is in very strong leadership mode, and with this Five of Swords energy, I guess why I say, like, if one was even one step down, like a A and a B level, in this energy, it's a little bit like social climber type of energy, or giving someone a boost, taking a boost. It's like in this energy, I will say, Aquarius, if you are that B level with Sagittarius, I feel like Sagittarius could kind of use you like a prop, objectify you to some extent. If, for instance, Sagittarius was the stronger person, and I feel like Aquarius, if you were the stronger person than Sagittarius would see what could they gain from you to elevate themselves. So there's a little bit of that energy in there. All right. Let's check out our final sign. But I feel like with Sagittarius, ultimately, if you and Sagittarius are both into building quality, and both of you have invested the same amount of accomplishment together, you and Sagittarius could definitely create something quite impressive together. It's just that, as I said, I get very strong leadership from Sagittarius, and you need to match Sagittarius's energy in leadership equally, I feel, for it to be good. Let's go on to Aries. And Aries for Aquarius. Let us go and see what I have. Aries for Aquarius. Aries is the type of person, Aquarius, that will do anything for those they love. Not something to be taken lightly, Aquarius. When you have commitment from Aries, when you have Aries on your side, Aries on your team, Aquarius will move mountains for you, Aquarius. That's first of all the basic energy coming out with Aries. All these eights, Aquarius. So eights may be relevant with you and Aries. I mean, we have the Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups. Strength is also a vibration of eight. Eights are also numbers of fate, of destiny. They are numbers of movement. There is will involved. Also, too, being in the right place at the right time. Okay, so I am going to say, Aquarius, if you are, regardless if you're dealing with an Aries or if you meet an Aries, I don't really think Aries expected you. I think how you came across Aries to them, Aquarius, was just some marvelous twist of fate and opportunity. Things just worked out, or things just could work out between you and Aries. And know that with Aries, you don't need a lot of time or a lot of history with Aries for Aries to be in your corner for you, lobbying for you, believing in you. Aries doesn't need a lot of time to develop and really have sincerity in their actions towards you. Also, their actions towards you, wanting to see you at your best. I feel like, too, in this energy, Aries would go the distance for you, with you. Also, too, I don't know, I just really see a lot of self-sacrificing, really strong energy put out, Aries putting out to the other. Not to say that Aries could also go. If Aries goes, I only feel it's because, just their sincerity was overlooked or not really appreciated, not really celebrated. But I feel like with Aries, that's what I have for you, Aquarius. How Aries presents themselves, that's authentic, Aquarius. And Aries is someone who will give you everything they can, give their loved ones everything they can. And they really go on, is it how they feel, what they believe? I don't know quite whether it's what they believe or what they feel. All I know is that once you have the affection, the support of an Aries, that's a very valuable ally, cheerleader, supporter to have. Those are my energies of what I see for everyone, for the Aquarius collective in love. Again, if you're interested in the water signs, do check them out. The other two on the link in the description. I'll leave this up for a little bit of time, Aquarius. If you have any comments, please feel free to share. And until next time, bye-bye.